If you're still here, thanks ever so much. Sorry for my last video, it was diabolical. Say hello to my dog. I am going to do everything a heck of a lot closer and try and make up for the last video. So first thing I'm going to do is actually show you what I was trying to show you last time and failed miserably. So let's go in much closer. Right. This is the rooftop tent, the underside of it. This is the underneath. These rails here are bolted to the rooftop tent in these holes here. But there are spare holes here. Oh, actually, let me show you why we're not going to use these. I'm just going to lay that bar in the position that it used to be, or the position that it comes from the factory. Okay, so we're going to put that like that. Now I'm going to get my axle and I'm going to put it over. It's too close. Okay, it's just too close. So what I'm going to do is, well, what I've done is I'm going to remove these completely. But the other holes that are there, this row of holes that were just, that Drifter had put into it, Drifter's the manufacturer, Stockton Drifter, these are going, but this is where my trailer chassis rails will be going. Now, just yesterday I made these spring plates. I'll show you what these are for in a second, but you've got a basic idea anyway. These clamp the axle to the springs. I've got a little bit of work to do on the springs today. These are the lightest springs that I can get, and these are the springs that I used for my sidecar. And I know that they are good. I think these are rated at 230, but I only ever used to use half of one of them for my sidecar. There it is. And get great articulation. Yeah, they actually move brilliantly. That's all good. But by the time you've got two of them, let's see if I can do this. And this would be, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put let's put the camera down and see what we can see. Okay, that's not too bad. Shot. Okay, right. This is where I fall over. That's not much movement. Okay, that's next to stuff all movement. And I weigh 84 kilograms. Let's try and get some lights out of the shot. So they're going to be just too much as they stand. But there are two leaves. Okay. Oh, there you go. You can see them better like that. Oh, good. Anyway, when there's a bit of light through them. There we go. There's two leaves. So I'm going to remove one of them. See, we've got a little bit at the end there, a little clasp. I should just grind that off, and then these will sit sort of like that. Okay, sort of like that on top of the chassis rails. Okay, obviously I'm doing everything one-handed, but you know say if you saw my last video, you can see what happens when I do put it on the tripod and I'm just too far away for you to see anything. And I can't get anyone to help me make the videos at the time that I want it to happen. So I have looked at getting some help, but it's just you and me until something changes. So hopefully you can see that it's starting to take shape now. Say this is where, and then I'm going to have two channels there and there. I'm going to have cross member there and a cross member there, and a single drawbar that will come out to about here. So it shouldn't weigh an awful lot. Should be okay. Now, I've on my spring plates, these all spring plates that come from the shops normally have a hole in the middle of them to locate this lug that is on your springs. But this lug, it's only a bolt. So what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to remove that bolt, and instead of just locating with a lug, I have made my spring plates so that they are tapped. So this is a tapped M8 hole that takes an M8 bolt that goes into the spring just there to locate, and that's so that this, should anything on the spring come loose, should either of these, any of these U-bolts come loose, the whole axle doesn't just go whoomp and slide forwards or backwards. So even with a little bit of looseness, the axle remains true enough, is not slippy enough, and not slipping forwards or backwards to hopefully get you to the nearest petrol station, or at least to the side of the road, so you can get your own tools out and tighten something up. I presume that's what it's for. I think that's a reasonable estimate. Right, we're on 7 minutes now. I've got to watch my time because these are getting dull. Right, so switching off. I have cut the bands that hold the two springs together, two leaves together, I should say. And come on. There we go. Okay. Now, that's looking a bit more like it. One leaf. That's looking more like it. Those super long U-bolts that I was showing you were just too long. They just ran out of thread. So I've just been down to Statewide Bearings in Albany. You see the thread goes longer on there. And I thought on the way back, it's a 2-minute drive for me. It really is not very far at all. And it occurred to me that while I'm on, I was just going to say, while I'm doing these up, I was just going to say a word about involving your local nut and bolts supplier in your project. I go to eBay sometimes, but it's only when I have to. The guys, and I'm sure that you've got guys near you who are as good, not knocking Statewide Bearings, they're fabulous. I'm thanking Statewide Bearings. I have only got to go 2 minutes down the road. None of this eBay, oh, we've sent your package off today. The guys at Statewide have taken stuff back. Oh, I'm missing a couple of washers there. This is not the last time that this will go on or off, so rather than interrupt what I'm saying, I'm actually just going to put them on without washers. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, it gets quite lonely here in the shop, in my shed on my own. There's so many advantages and positives about going down and using your local supplier. I'm not going to try and, I really don't mean to patronise you, I don't, but I'm a big fan of positive mental health, mainly because how much I dislike negative mental health. If you find a good local supplier and they're pleasant, like Statewide in Albany. If you're like me, my doctor describes me as a pinging man-child, which is meant with the utmost affection, and he's a lovely guy. Sometimes when I get excited, in the true sense of the word, and I just need someone to tell about my successes. Oh, actually, I don't know what I'm doing those up like that type for. But you can see how it goes. You can see that's pretty much it. But yeah, back to your locals. Oh, there's the bloody washer there. But back to your locals. Don't just be in the shed, managing on your own, feeling alone. Get out there and involve your local shops in your projects. They will be happy for you, they will encourage you, they will sell you parts that will arrive much quicker than online. They're going to be a little bit more expensive, probably, but they've got to pay a mortgage. Right, now I've got to just slot this a little bit. These, where have they gone? Oh, I've left them over there. The shorter ones are slightly narrower, so I've just got to slot those back in two. So I just slotted, you see those two top holes? I just slotted them with a file. Not everything has to be laser cut. And just while I was off camera, I marked that up as the centre of my axle, which is 800, and I know that my springs want to be a total of 600 apart, so that to that, by my reckoning, wants to be 300. So let's these shorter bolts are much nicer. Oh, I can't stand swinging away at long bolts for ages. Oh, a bit gack-handed. Yep, that's good. Pop you up there. Hopefully this video is better than the last one. Hopefully it's close enough for you to see what I'm doing. If you're worrying about getting it registered, and if you've heard a lot of people say that it can't be done, and I am hearing it all the time, they're wrong. In Australia, that is. We changed our rules July 2023, and we've made it a heck of a lot more complicated to get these registered, get a home built trailer registered. But there is, the stories that I've heard about, you can't get it done, it's impossible, and you've got to get an engineer and all that sort of stuff. It's nonsense, and it's coming from people who haven't read the books. The government has put some guidelines. They've made an effort, but it's written by absolute idiots, which won't come as a surprise. Government, I hope you're watching. I am available to rewrite your rubbish brochures for you. You do not speak English. You do not speak in a way that a common man can understand, and you have destroyed the home-built trailer tradition in Australia with your stupid language or your stupid lack of understanding of language. My wife says never do rants. Don't do rants on your YouTube, Lozz. And this isn't a rant. This is me telling you, you the viewer, you can do this. Okay, you are allowed to make a trailer in your shed. Okay, you don't have to get it engineered. That is to say, you don't have to go to a professional engineer. I suppose, in fairness, when we say you don't need to get it engineered, we're actually misusing language ourselves, because you pick up a spanner, you're an engineer. What we mean when we say in Australia you need to get it engineered is you need to get a registered engineer to approve of your build. Okay, and that is not the case. So there we go. Let's flip it over. Okay, so I can't show you. Oh, can I? Yes. Wait there. I'll get a couple of blocks. One. Let's put you there. No, it's still not. No, sorry. Okay. I'm going to have to do something about the height, but that's okay. That's normal for this sort of home build. You come across a problem, you fix the problem. That's more like it. I'll turn this side on because you can't see it there. Earlier on, there was very little movement, and now there is. Boink, boink, boink. I shall pop this onto the trailer, upside down, so you can see where it's going, and hopefully you'll understand more what I meant about the chassis rails moving. Right, let's pop you on. Now it's starting to look like a trailer. That's where our frame rail was. We've already got holes there, so we're going to put them there. They're going to line up. They're 600 apart. Now this Stockton Drifter rooftop tent is 1.1 wide. That is from there to there. So the tent opens this way, and they're no longer available in Australia, but don't worry, the 1.2 is. So that is literally just 10 centimetres longer. So all of this build, I would imagine, as I've only got the one trailer, this one, I am 99% sure is going to be identical, well, not identical, but very close. It's going to be just 10 centimetres longer. So you can still put the axle in the middle and just have 5 centimetres sticking out the end, and you'll have more space. I just wanted to go for lightness. Lightness is my priority in this build. You can go as heavy as you want, but those trailers already exist. I just don't see the point in doing that. It's already been done. The trailer that I sold, the Comanche trailer, did that perfectly. Beautiful, beautiful trailer, but too heavy for a small bike. This will not be. I'm looking forward to seeing how much this weighs. I hope this video was better than the last one. I hope it makes up for some of the disappointment that you may have felt from watching the last one. Give us some feedback. I suppose ultimately if you subscribe, that's the feedback, but you can happily stick some comments in, or have a look at my Facebook page, which is also Professor Spanner. I'll keep you up to date with the chassis build that is being sourced outside. But this is looking good for me. You see obviously the wheels are touching, but this rail here is going to be 50mm, the aluminium is, so that's going to lift it up. And then if I need to put some extra space between, because we're going to need hangers here to lift them up as well, I think we're going to be good. I think it's going to be okay. All right, thanks.